Welcome to Infinite Mind Potential, where we explore the depths of human capability and the secrets of the legendary masters. Imagine a warrior who fought over 60 life or death duels, yet never suffered from what we call modern burnout. Miyamoto Musashi was not just a swordsman. He was an artist, a philosopher, and a man of boundless spiritual energy. He practiced martial arts endlessly, created timeless art, and wrote profound philosophy without ever exhausting his deep internal spirit energy. In contrast, we live in a world of comfort, yet we are constantly tired, drained, and overwhelmed by our daily lives. Why did this legendary figure have infinite energy, while we struggle to get through the day without feeling completely depleted? The answer lies not in physical strength, but in understanding the true nature of fatigue and the secrets of the soul. Today, we will decode the philosophy that allowed Musashi to transcend human limits and access a state of perpetual power. We must first understand the paradox of fatigue, which suggests that exhaustion is rarely caused by the work we actually do. Think about a time you played a sport you loved. You were physically tired, yet your spirit felt alive and energized. Now compare that to a day spent worrying about a future event. You did nothing, yet you felt completely crushed. This proves that true burnout does not come from physical exertion, but from what Musashi would call a heavy spirit. Musashi understood that if your spirit is light, the body can endure almost anything without breaking down or losing its power. The problem is that most of us carry invisible weights that drain our battery long before we even start working. This internal friction is the primary source of our fatigue, acting like a brake pedal pressed while driving a car. To achieve infinite energy, we must learn to identify and remove these internal brakes that are sabotaging our natural vitality. This brings us to the core metaphor of our journey today, the concept of carrying stones in your mental backpack. Imagine your life as a long journey up a mountain, and your energy is determined by the weight you carry. Every time you act to gain the approval of others, you pick up a heavy stone and add it to your load. When you compare your progress to someone else on social media, you add another sharp stone called comparison to your bag. Dwelling on past mistakes adds the stone of regret, while worrying about the future adds the crushing stone of anxiety. Soon you are exhausted not because the path is steep, but because you are carrying a mountain of useless mental weight. Musashi traveled light, carrying only his 2 swords and a mind free from the burden of needing validation from others. He realized that the need for external validation is a trap that drains your spirit and makes you a slave. When you depend on others to feel good about yourself, you give them the remote control to your emotional energy. To reclaim your infinite potential, you must cut these chains and decide to walk your path without the weight of opinions. The first step to energy is simply dropping the stones. You do not need to be stronger, you need to be lighter. This leads us to Musashi's most famous philosophical work, the Dokudo, or the Way of Walking Alone, written before death. One of the most powerful precepts in this text is the simple yet profound command, do nothing which is of no use. This is the ultimate energy hack. It means ruthlessly eliminating every activity, thought, and habit that does not serve your purpose. We leak energy everywhere. We leak it in pointless arguments, in mindless scrolling, and in trying to impress people we dislike. Musashi teaches us to patch these leaks. When you stop wasting energy on the useless, you suddenly have abundance for the essential. He did not diversify his attention. He focused everything on the way of the sword, creating a laser-like intensity of power. Scattered light warms nothing, but focused light becomes a laser. Your mind must become a laser to avoid the burnout of scattering. Apply the Dokudo to your life. Ask yourself, is this scroll, this conversation, or this worry actually useful to my path? If the answer is no, discard it immediately. This is how you reclaim the energy required to become a master. Walking alone does not mean being lonely. It means being self-sufficient and not relying on the external world for your stability. Like a deep-rooted tree, you must draw your nourishment from your own soil, not from the fleeting rain of public opinion. Another secret to Musashi's endurance is the preference for rhythm over motivation. a concept crucial for long-term consistency. Motivation is like a sugar rush. It gives you a spike of energy, but leaves you crashing down shortly after. Rhythm, however, is the heartbeat of the universe. It is consistent, sustainable, and requires far less energy to maintain over time. Musashi did not train only when he felt inspired. He trained because it was his rhythm, as natural as breathing air. Nature does not need motivation to change the seasons. It follows a rhythm. You must build a rhythm for your work. When you establish a routine, you remove the energy cost of decision-making. You simply do what the rhythm dictates. Every decision you make burns glucose in your brain. Rhythm eliminates these decisions, preserving your mental fuel for what matters. Find your pace. It should not be a sprint that kills you, but a march that you can sustain forever. Water is soft, yet it cuts through rock not by strength, but by the relentless rhythm of its constant flow. The final piece of the puzzle is understanding that presence creates energy. This is the state of total mind and body unity. Most of us are never where we are. Our bodies are in the chair, but our minds are in the future. This separation creates tension. It takes immense energy to keep the mind and body in two different places at once. For Musashi, in a duel, there was no yesterday and no tomorrow. There was only the immediate reality of the now. When you are fully present, friction disappears. Action becomes effortless because there is no mental resistance fighting against the task. This is often called the flow state. In this state, you can work for hours and feel more energized than when you started. Musashi applied this presence to everything, from fighting to tea ceremonies. He did not rush to get to the end. We rush through life, always trying to get to the next moment, treating the present as an obstacle to overcome. Stop fighting time. Be completely with your task. If you are washing dishes, just wash dishes. Do not fight the moment. So, we have the 4 pillars of infinite energy: dropping stones, walking alone, finding rhythm, and living in presence. This is not just philosophy for a samurai. It is a survival guide for the modern soul, drowning in noise. Take a moment right now. Feel the weight you are carrying. Is it yours? Or is it a stone you picked up? Visualize dropping that stone. Feel the immediate release of tension in your shoulders. You have just reclaimed your energy. The path of the warrior is not about conquering the world. It is about conquering the fatigue within yourself. You have infinite potential waiting to be unlocked. It is not out there. It is buried under the stones you carry. If this video helped lighten your load, please subscribe to Infinite Mind Potential and share this wisdom with a friend. Thank you for watching. Remember to drop your stones, find your rhythm, and walk your path with infinite energy. Let us go deeper. Musashi was not born a master. In his youth, he was wild, aggressive, and often exhausted. He learned the hard way that anger and ambition are high-octane fuels that burn dirty and destroy the engine. When you work out of fear or anger, you are burning your own nervous system to generate a temporary result. As he aged, he transitioned from the fire of youth to the fluidity of water. This transition is essential for us. Many of us remain in the fire phase forever, burning ourselves out until our health collapses under the strain. To survive the long game, you must learn to cool the fire of ambition with the water of acceptance and wisdom. In his book of 5 Rings, he wrote about the void. The void is not empty. It is the source of power. Embracing the void means being comfortable with uncertainty. Uncertainty is another heavy stone that we try to carry. We try to control every outcome to feel safe. This desire for control is a massive drain on our mental battery. Musashi taught to release the desire for control. Trust your training, trust your intuition, and let the outcome handle itself. When you stop trying to control the water, you can float. When you stop fighting life, you can finally flow with it. Think of the energy difference between swimming upstream and floating downstream. Most of us spend our lives swimming upstream. Society tells us that struggle is noble. But Musashi suggests that alignment is noble, and struggle is often a sign of error. Check your stance in life. Are you leaning too far forward into the future? or leaning back into the past. Being off-center requires constant muscular tension to keep from falling. Being centered requires almost no effort at all. Center yourself in the present moment. This is your point of power. This is where your energy is most efficient. Let us examine another specific stone: envy. Envy is drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It burns your energy to track someone else's race. Musashi focused entirely on his own improvement, not his opponent's fame. He famously said, "Today is victory over yourself of yesterday. Tomorrow is your victory over lesser men." Competing with yourself generates energy because you see progress. Competing with others drains energy because you feel inadequate. Focus on your next step, not the summit. The summit is a dream. The step is your reality. By narrowing your focus to the immediate step, you condense your energy. Wide focus dissipates. Narrow focus ignites. When Musashi carved wood, he was not trying to make a masterpiece. He was simply letting the knife move true. Mastery is when the doer disappears, and only the doing remains. This is the state of zero friction. This is the paradox of speed. To move fastest, you must be internally still. Tension slows you down. Relaxation speeds you up. Watch elite athletes. They are loose. They do not force the movement. They allow the power to flow through them. We do the opposite. When work gets hard, we tense up. We must learn to relax into the pressure, not resist it. Musashi's soft style allowed him to fight for hours. If he had been rigid, he would have tired in minutes. Be the willow, not the oak. The willow survives the storm because it yields. The oak breaks because it resists. In arguments, be the willow. Let the other person's anger pass through you. Do not absorb it or block it. This preserves your energy. Fighting every battle is a sure way to empty your reserves before the day is half over. Rest is also a weapon. Musashi knew how to rest deeply. He did not lie awake worrying about the next duel. We have forgotten how to rest. We bring our work to bed. We bring our screens to the pillow. This artificial light and mental stimulation steal the recovery time your spirit needs to recharge for the next day. Reclaim your rest. Create a boundary. When the day is done, put down the stones and enter the void of sleep. Wake up without the residue of yesterday. Each morning is a new life. Do not drag yesterday's corpse into today. Carrying the past is the heaviest stone of all. Musashi taught, do not regret what you have done. Regret changes nothing. It only saps energy from the present. Accept what happened, learn, and immediately move forward. Your scars are lessons, not life sentences. Use them to navigate the future, but do not let them weigh you down. How do we apply all this tomorrow? Here is a simple 3-step protocol to start building your infinite energy. Step 1, the energy audit. For one day, track how you feel after every interaction and every task you perform. Identify the vampires. Who or what drains you? Identify the chargers. What gives you life? Be honest with your data. Step 2, ruthless elimination. Use the Dokudo rule. If a drain is not essential for your survival or purpose, cut it. Learn the power of no. No is a shield that protects your energy. Use it liberally to defend your peace. Step 3, establish rituals. Create a small pre-work ritual to signal your brain that it is time to enter flow. It can be as simple as clearing your desk or taking 3 deep breaths. This builds the rhythm we discussed earlier. Audit, eliminate, ritualize. If you do this for 30 days, you will feel lighter and more powerful than ever before. Consistency is not about force. It is about removing friction. When the brake is off, the car rolls forward easily. You want your life to feel like rolling downhill, not pushing uphill. That is the ultimate goal of Musashi's philosophy. Finally, realize that you are part of something larger. Musashi believed in the way of heaven. He was not alone. He famously said, "Respect Buddha and the gods without counting on their help." This is spiritual self-reliance. You acknowledge the universe, but you take full responsibility for your own energy. You are the generator, not the battery. Batteries run out. Generators create energy as long as they spin. Be a generator by staying in motion and in rhythm. Sharing your gift also generates energy. Musashi wrote his books to give back. Purpose is an infinite fuel source. When you serve a purpose higher than your own ego, you tap into a reserve of energy that is inexhaustible. Find your purpose. It does not have to be grand. It just has to be true. Truth burns cleaner than lies. Living a lie, pretending to be someone you are not, is the most exhausting thing a human being can do. Musashi was authentic. He did not care for fashion or etiquette if it did not help the sword. Be authentic. Authenticity aligns you with your nature. When you are aligned, you fly with the wind, not against it. We have covered a lot of ground today, from the heavy soul to the light step, from distraction to laser focus. Knowledge is only potential power. Action is real power. Do not just watch this video and go back to scrolling. Pick one stone to drop today. Just one. Maybe it is the need to be right. Maybe it is jealousy. Drop it. Feel the lightness. Then take one step on your own path. That is how the legend begins. Musashi's spirit lives on, not in his swords, but in the minds of those who choose to walk the path of mastery. You are the inheritor of this wisdom. The potential for infinite energy is already inside you, waiting to be unlocked. At Infinite Mind Potential, we believe that the human mind has no limits, only the limits we place upon ourselves. Break the walls, drop the stones. Walk alone if you must, but walk forward. Your potential is waiting for you. I want to hear from you. Which stone are you carrying? Which one will you drop today? Tell us in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else to drop their burden. Let us build a community of light, not of weight. If you enjoyed this exploration, you might also like our video on Stoic resilience. It is the perfect companion to this lesson. As we part ways today, remember that the journey is long, but it does not have to be heavy. Carry peace in your heart, not stones in your bag. Let your spirit be as light as a feather on the wind. The lighter you are, the further you can fly. And the further you fly, the more you will see. Perspective changes everything. From the ground, the rock looks like a mountain. From the sky, it is just a pebble. Keep climbing. The view from the top of your potential is worth every step you take to get there. Thank you for spending your valuable time with us. Time is the only resource you cannot renew, so spend it wisely. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a lesson on unlocking your mind. Follow us on our other social platforms for daily reminders and bite-sized wisdom to keep you on the path. I leave you with this final thought from Musashi. There is nothing outside of yourself that can ever make you stronger. Everything is within. Everything is you. Stop looking for magic potions and start cultivating your own internal magic. Protect your flame. Feed it with rhythm, protect it with solitude, and let it shine with presence. Go forth and conquer your day, not with force, but with the unstoppable power of a mind that is free. This has been a production of Infinite Mind Potential, dedicated to the warriors of the modern world. We appreciate your support. If you wish to support us further, check the links in the description below. Ask yourself one last time as you close this video. Are you carrying stones, or are you walking free? Thank you for watching Infinite Mind Potential. Subscribe for more wisdom, and may you walk your path with infinite